Lost among the stars, alone on a hostile world, he never imagined salvation would come from her voice. But their bond is forbidden, a melody that could shatter empires. When survival becomes destiny, will love conquer all? Or will it tear two civilizations apart? Dive into this epic tale of connection beyond worlds. Subscribe now for more stories that defy imagination. The ship's alarms blared like a chorus of dying machines as the young astronaut fought against the controls. His hands trembled over the console, sweat dripping down his face despite the freezing temperatures inside the cockpit. The planet below loomed closer with every passing second, its swirling violet clouds and jagged mountain ranges promising no mercy. He had been so close to completing his mission, gathering data from the edge of known space, but a sudden asteroid collision had sent him spiraling off course. Now, the only thing between him and certain death was a fragile heat shield and sheer luck. As the craft breached the atmosphere, flames licked at the hull, painting the interior with flickering orange light. The impact came faster than expected, a deafening crash followed by silence. Dust filled the air as debris rained down around him, and pain shot through his body. Through blurry vision, he saw glimpses of the alien landscape, towering crystalline trees shimmering under twin suns, rivers of liquid silver snaking across the terrain, and creatures unlike anything he'd ever seen darting between shadows. For a moment, despair overwhelmed him. Was this how it ended? Alone, forgotten, millions of miles from home? But then, amidst the chaos, something stirred in the distance, a figure emerging from the haze. It moved gracefully, almost ethereally, its form bathed in soft luminescence. As it approached, the astronaut realized it wasn't human. Its elongated limbs glowed faintly, and its eyes held an intelligence far beyond his own. Fear mingled with awe as he tried to speak, but his voice failed him. Instead, he reached out weakly, unsure whether this being meant help or harm. Little did he know, this encounter would change everything for better or worse. The creature knelt beside him, tilting its head curiously. Its gaze seemed to pierce straight through him, reading not just his thoughts but the very essence of his soul. Though they shared no language, communication passed between them effortlessly, an unspoken understanding born of desperation and curiosity. With surprising gentleness, the being lifted him from the wreckage, cradling him as if he weighed nothing. It began moving swiftly, yet silently, weaving through the labyrinthine forest with an uncanny sense of direction. Every step revealed new wonders and new dangers. Strange flora pulsed rhythmically, releasing bursts of glittering spores into the air. Massive insect-like creatures scuttled along branches overhead, their mandibles clicking ominously. At one point, a low growl echoed through the trees, causing the being to pause mid-stride. From the shadows emerged a hulking predator, its sleek black scales reflecting the sunlight like polished obsidian. Razor-sharp teeth gleamed as it locked onto them, muscles coiling in preparation for an attack. Without hesitation, the being placed the astronaut behind a cluster of thick vines before stepping forward. To his astonishment, it began to sing, not with words, but with pure sound, resonating deep within his chest. The melody was hauntingly beautiful, each note vibrating through the air like ripples on water. The predator froze, its aggression melting away as though hypnotized. Slowly, it retreated back into the darkness, leaving them unharmed. When the coast was clear, the being resumed their journey, carrying him deeper into the heart of the alien wilderness. Exhaustion eventually claimed him, pulling him into unconsciousness. Yet even in sleep, fragments of that song lingered in his mind, soothing and unforgettable. When he awoke, he found himself lying on a bed of soft moss inside what appeared to be some kind of shelter. Light filtered through translucent walls made of woven plant fibers, casting intricate patterns on the ground. Nearby, the being who had saved him sat cross-legged, humming softly. Up close, he noticed details he hadn't seen before: delicate facial markings that shifted colors depending on the angle of light, slender fingers tipped with tiny claws, and skin that shimmered like opals. She, though he couldn't be sure of gender based on appearance, was undeniably breathtaking. She turned toward him, sensing his consciousness. Her lips curved slightly, a gesture he interpreted as a smile. Reaching out, she touched his forehead lightly, sending a wave of calm throughout his body. Then, without warning, images flooded his mind, scenes of her people living in harmony with nature, cities built into colossal trees, rituals involving music and dance. It was as though she were sharing memories directly with him, bypassing the need for speech entirely. He attempted to respond in kind, focusing on thoughts of Earth, of skyscrapers and oceans, of laughter and loss. Her expression softened further, indicating comprehension. In that moment, he felt less alone, connected to her in a way he couldn't explain. Still, questions swirled in his head. Who was she? Why had she saved him? And where exactly was he? Her attention shifted suddenly, ears twitching as though catching a distant sound. Rising to her feet, she gestured for him to follow. Reluctantly, he obeyed, wincing as pain shot through his injured leg. Despite his protests, she insisted on supporting him, guiding him carefully through the dense foliage. Whatever awaited them ahead, he sensed it was important. Their destination proved to be a sprawling settlement nestled within a grove of luminous trees. Structures crafted from natural materials blended seamlessly with the environment, exuding an aura of serenity. Inhabitants moved about purposefully, their movements fluid and graceful. They paused upon noticing him, murmuring amongst themselves in melodic tones. Some regarded him with curiosity, others with suspicion. Clearly, humans were not a common sight here. His companion led him to a central platform where several elders stood waiting. Their presence commanded respect. Their eyes glimmered with ancient wisdom. One stepped forward, addressing her in a series of harmonious sounds. She replied calmly, occasionally gesturing toward him. Though he couldn't understand the specifics, the exchange carried an undeniable weight. Finally, the elder nodded solemnly, turning to examine him closely. After a brief discussion, she guided him to a secluded area near a cascading waterfall. Here, she introduced herself, not verbally, but through another burst of mental imagery. He learned her name translated roughly to Luma, meaning light or hope. She explained that her people, known as the Vera, possessed advanced telepathic abilities tied to their vocal cords. Their songs weren't merely forms of expression but tools capable of influencing emotions, altering reality itself. He absorbed this information eagerly, marveling at the implications. Yet beneath her explanations lay an undercurrent of unease. Something significant hung unsaid, lingering in the periphery of their connection. Sensing his concern, Luma hesitated before revealing the truth. Their meeting wasn't coincidental. Forces far greater than either of them were at play, and their fates were intertwined in ways neither fully understood. Days turned into weeks as he recuperated under Luma's care. During this time, he grew increasingly fascinated by the Vera culture. Their society operated on principles of balance and unity, prioritizing collective well-being over individual desires. Music played a central role in daily life, serving as both art and governance. Songs dictated everything from crop cycles to diplomatic negotiations, their frequencies resonating with the planet's energy fields to maintain equilibrium. Yet beneath the surface, tranquility lurked tensions. Luma confided that her people faced mounting pressure from neighboring races eager to exploit their unique abilities. Diplomatic alliances teetered precariously, strained by mistrust and greed. Worse still, internal divisions threatened to fracture the once unified community. Traditionalists argued for isolation, while progressives advocated for collaboration with outsiders. Through their shared experiences, a profound bond developed between him and Luma. Their interactions transcended mere friendship, evolving into something deeper. Whenever they communicated telepathically, their minds intertwined, creating a symphony of thoughts and emotions. These moments left him breathless, awash with sensations he struggled to describe. It was as though they were composing a duet, each note amplifying the other until the distinction between self and other blurred entirely. However, their growing closeness did not go unnoticed. Whispers spread among the Vera, fueling rumors of betrayal. Some viewed their relationship as a threat to societal stability, fearing it might disrupt the delicate harmony they strived to preserve. Others saw potential in their union, believing it could bridge gaps between species. Caught in the middle, Luma wrestled with conflicting loyalties, torn between duty and desire. One evening, as twilight painted the sky in hues of lavender and gold, Luma took him to a secluded glade overlooking a vast canyon. Stars twinkled above, mirrored perfectly in a tranquil lake below. Sitting side by side, they shared stories of their respective worlds, piecing together fragments of lives lived light years apart. He spoke of Earth's bustling cities, technological marvels, and endless pursuits of progress. She recounted tales of her ancestors' migrations across galaxies, seeking refuge on this pristine planet. Their conversation flowed seamlessly, transitioning from spoken word to telepathic exchange without effort. Each revelation deepened their understanding of one another, forging a link stronger than any physical tether. Yet amidst the warmth of connection, a shadow loomed. Luma hesitated before broaching a topic she'd avoided thus far: prophecy. According to ancient texts, a human would arrive during times of turmoil, bearing gifts of knowledge and destruction alike. Whether he represented salvation or ruin remained unclear. His initial reaction was disbelief. Prophecies struck him as superstition, relics of a pre-scientific era. But Luma's conviction was unwavering. She believed fate had brought them together for a reason, however uncertain the outcome. Together, they resolved to uncover the truth, vowing to protect both their peoples regardless of cost. As night fell, they sang together, a spontaneous improvisation blending human melodies with Veran harmonics. The resulting composition resonated powerfully, echoing across the canyon and stirring responses from distant wildlife. Unbeknownst to them, their performance attracted unwanted attention. The following morning, armed guards arrived at their quarters, demanding answers. Rumors of their nocturnal duet had reached the council, sparking outrage among conservative factions. Singing outside prescribed rituals violated sacred traditions, risking destabilization of the planet's energy grid. Worse still, collaborating with an outsider amplified fears of cultural contamination. Luma pleaded their case passionately, emphasizing the purity of intent behind their actions. While sympathetic, many council members remained skeptical. Compromise seemed impossible until an unexpected advocate emerged: Elder Talis, a revered figure known for her progressive views. She proposed a trial period during which they could demonstrate the benefits of interspecies cooperation. If successful, formal recognition might follow. Failure, however, would result in exile for both parties. Relieved yet apprehensive, they accepted the challenge. Over the next few days, they worked tirelessly to integrate human innovations with Veran practices. Simple technologies like solar panels and water filtration systems complemented existing infrastructure, enhancing efficiency without disrupting ecological balance. Meanwhile, Luma taught him advanced techniques for harnessing telepathic resonance, unlocking latent. As they delved deeper into their collaborative efforts, the astronaut discovered hidden facets of his own mind. Under Luma's guidance, he learned to focus his thoughts into coherent melodies, projecting emotions rather than words. This newfound ability allowed him to communicate not only with Luma but also with other Verans, bridging the gap between species in unprecedented ways. Their combined efforts began yielding tangible results. Crops flourished under enhanced growth frequencies, medical treatments accelerated healing processes, and diplomatic relations showed signs of improvement. However, resistance persisted. Hardline traditionalists viewed these changes as sacrilegious, accusing them of tampering with forces beyond mortal comprehension. Protests erupted sporadically, with dissenters gathering near the central platform to voice their grievances through dissonant chants meant to disrupt harmony. The discordant notes reverberated painfully through the air, causing distress among both humans and Verans alike. Despite the challenges, the astronaut and Luma refused to give up. They organized public demonstrations showcasing the benefits of their partnership, inviting skeptics to witness firsthand how unity could strengthen rather than weaken their society. Slowly but surely, opinions began to shift. Even some former opponents softened their stances, acknowledging the potential value of collaboration. Yet beneath the surface progress, darker forces conspired against them. Unbeknownst to the pair, a faction of extremists plotted to sabotage their efforts. Led by a charismatic orator named Kale, this group believed that preserving Varen purity required drastic measures, including eliminating the human interloper. Operating in secret, they devised a plan to ambush him during a routine supply run to the outskirts of the settlement. On the appointed day, the astronaut ventured out alone, accompanied only by a small escort of Varen volunteers. As they traversed a narrow canyon, shadows shifted ominously overhead. Suddenly, projectiles rained down from above, sharp stones and shards of crystal aimed directly at them. Chaos erupted as attackers descended from hidden perches, brandishing crude weapons forged from salvaged materials. Caught off guard, the escort fought valiantly but was quickly overwhelmed. Just as hope seemed lost, a familiar figure appeared on the horizon. Luma sprinted toward the fray, her voice rising in a piercing crescendo that froze the assailants mid-attack. Seizing the opportunity, she grabbed the astronaut's hand and pulled him to safety, retreating into the dense underbrush before reinforcements could arrive. Breathing heavily, they collapsed against a mossy boulder, hearts pounding in unison. "Why do they hate us so much?" he asked, frustration evident in his tone. Luma's expression darkened. Through fragmented images, she conveyed the depth of Kale's influence, his rhetoric stirring primal fears of annihilation, exploiting vulnerabilities within their culture. It wasn't just about him. It was about everything he represented: change, uncertainty, the unknown. The failed assassination attempt forced them to go into hiding. With the help of trusted allies, they relocated to a secluded refuge deep within the forest, far from prying eyes. Here, surrounded by towering bioluminescent trees and cascading streams, they regrouped and strategized. The situation was dire, but surrender wasn't an option. During this time, their bond deepened further. Conversations turned introspective, exploring themes of identity, purpose, and sacrifice. He shared memories of Earth's political conflicts, drawing parallels to the strife plaguing Varen society. She reciprocated with tales of her ancestors' struggles, highlighting resilience born from adversity. Together, they pieced together a vision for the future, one rooted in mutual respect and shared aspirations. Yet doubts lingered. Could two individuals truly alter the course of history? Or were they merely delaying the inevitable? These questions haunted them, especially at night, when silence enveloped the forest. During such moments, Luma would hum softly, her melodies weaving solace into the darkness. Each note carried layers of meaning, speaking directly to his soul in ways words never could. One evening, as twin moons bathed the clearing in silver light, she revealed a startling revelation. Their telepathic connection wasn't merely incidental, it was prophesied. Ancient texts spoke of a harmonic convergence, a union capable of reshaping reality itself. Whether this transformation would be constructive or catastrophic depended entirely on their choices moving forward. Buoyed by this revelation, they resolved to confront their adversaries head-on. Returning to the settlement under cover of darkness, they sought out Elder Talis, who had become a staunch ally. Together, they devised a bold plan, a grand assembly where all factions could present their arguments openly, mediated by neutral parties. Music would serve as the primary medium of discourse, ensuring fairness and transparency. Preparations consumed weeks, requiring meticulous coordination. Platforms were erected in a vast amphitheater carved into the mountainside, adorned with glowing flora and resonant crystals. Invitations extended to neighboring tribes, fostering inclusivity and accountability. Meanwhile, the astronaut and Luma honed their performance, crafting a symphony that encapsulated their journey thus far. Every note bore significance, every pause laden with intention. Finally, the day arrived. Thousands gathered, filling the arena with palpable tension. As the proceedings commenced, representatives took turns addressing the crowd, their songs ranging from defiant anthems to mournful dirges. Some advocated for isolation, others for integration. Emotions ran high, threatening to boil over at any moment. When their turn came, the astronaut and Luma ascended to the central stage. Hand in hand, they faced the audience, drawing strength from each other's presence. Then, without preamble, they began to sing. Their voices intertwined seamlessly, blending human cadence with Varan resonance to create something entirely new. The melody started softly, almost imperceptibly, like a whisper carried on the wind. Gradually, it swelled into a powerful crescendo, vibrating through the very fabric of the planet. Images accompanied the music, projected telepathically into the minds of spectators, scenes of unity overcoming division, cooperation triumphing over conflict, love transcending boundaries. Tears streamed down faces as listeners absorbed the message, not through logic or persuasion, but through raw emotion. Even hardened skeptics found themselves moved, their defenses crumbling under the weight of shared experience. By the final note, the atmosphere had transformed completely. Cheers erupted spontaneously, echoing across the valley like thunder. Kale and his followers attempted to retaliate, launching into discordant refrains designed to sow chaos. But their efforts fell flat, drowned out by overwhelming harmony. Defeated, they slunk away, marginalized by the tide of collective will. Afterward, Elder Talis declared the trial a resounding success. Formal recognition followed shortly thereafter, granting the astronaut honorary citizenship and sanctioning ongoing collaboration between species. For the first time in generations, hope rekindled among the Varans. With peace restored, attention turned outward. Leveraging combined knowledge, the astronaut and Luma spearheaded initiatives aimed at fostering interstellar diplomacy. Representatives from distant worlds arrived, eager to learn from the Varan model of governance. Trade agreements blossomed, cultural exchanges flourished, and scientific breakthroughs multiplied exponentially. Yet amidst the celebrations, uncertainty loomed. His damaged spacecraft remained irreparable, grounding him indefinitely. Though content alongside Luma, he couldn't ignore the pull of home, a place he might never see again. Similarly, Luma grappled with conflicting desires, her duty to her people versus her devotion to him. Neither voiced these concerns aloud, fearing disruption of their fragile equilibrium. Eventually, necessity intervened. A mysterious signal emanated from orbit, originating from what appeared to be a derelict vessel. Analysis suggested it belonged to a missing Earth expedition presumed lost decades ago. Hope flared anew. Perhaps salvation lay within reach. Boarding a Varan shuttle, they embarked on a reconnaissance mission to investigate the derelict craft. Upon arrival, they discovered its systems partially functional, enough to transmit coordinates back to Earth. However, activating the beacon required manual intervention, posing considerable risk. After deliberation, they decided to proceed together, unwilling to separate even briefly. Inside the abandoned ship, eerie silence reigned. Dust coated every surface, and flickering lights cast long shadows along corridors. Memories stirred within him, echoes of training simulations and childhood dreams. Luma sensed his nostalgia, offering silent support through gentle touches and reassuring glances. After hours of painstaking work, they succeeded in relaying the message. Relief washed over them as confirmation pinged through their comms device. Help was coming, but joy mingled with sorrow. Departure now seemed inevitable. Returning to the planet, they prepared for farewells. Elders convened one last time, bestowing blessings upon their union. Gifts exchanged hands, tokens of gratitude and remembrance. Tears flowed freely as bonds formed over months dissolved into bittersweet parting. Weeks later, a rescue fleet descended from the heavens, heralding reunion and resolution. Clad in pristine uniforms, Earth's finest greeted him warmly, marveling at tales of his odyssey. Yet, amidst jubilation, his heart ached. Leaving Luma felt akin to severing a vital limb. Promises were made, to return, to maintain contact, but reality loomed large. Distance posed insurmountable challenges, and time marched inexorably onward. Before boarding, he turned to face her one final time. Words failed him, inadequate to convey depths of feeling. Instead, he sang, a simple tune imbued with infinite meaning. She joined in, completing the duet that had defined their existence. As engines roared to life, carrying him skyward, her voice lingered faintly, etched forever in memory. Back on Earth, accolades awaited. Medals gleamed, speeches soared, accolades abounded. Yet none compared to nights spent gazing upward, imagining her silhouette silhouetted against alien stars. Somewhere beyond infinity, their song endured, a testament to connection defying impossibility. And so, dear viewer, we leave you with this tale of courage, compassion, and cosmic convergence. If you enjoyed this journey across galaxies, consider subscribing for more stories that explore the boundless realms of imagination. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes, even in the vastness of space, love finds a way.